Well, this week's episode of Car Stars and Roll Bars, I'm Mike Kinney, your host. Do me a favor, make sure to like, subscribe, share, hit that subscribe button, send it to all your friends, let them know everything we're doing across all the social media platforms. Well, over the seasons, we've had the pleasure, we've done NHRA, we've done SEMA, we've done Concours event, a lot of the Grand National, all the cool stuff going on. And some of the viewers, they go, Mike says, how about some of the racers out there, especially some of the up-and-coming racers? They're not necessarily new to the sport, but man, they're coming up with some really new ways to do business. Well, I'll tell you what, we got that comment, thank you very much, and we have a deal for you today. It's our pleasure to have with us is Melissa Wilson, Lil Miss Leadfoot. She has stood up her own YouTube channel. She's going to be focused on all the grassroots racers out there, what they're doing, and she's a racer in her own right. But before we bring her on, how about we'll let Melissa explain to you what Lil Miss Leadfoot's about, because she does a lot better job than I do. Hey, Rick, hit that play button, buddy.
Where you going?
In motorsports, Leadfoot means pedal to the metal, never letting up on the throttle. But Leadfoot truly means never giving up, never backing down, and never letting up on your dreams. My name is Melissa, and I created Lil Miss Leadfoot with the vision and message that anyone can make their dreams into a reality. Nothing is impossible, but you have to be willing to have a lead foot and to never lift. Lil Miss Leadfoot is dedicated to the many grassroots racers and car enthusiasts whose passions for racing and cars are just as big as mine, and who have stories that need to be heard. Grassroots racers and car enthusiasts are the fundamental part of motorsports. We are what keep the sport alive, but our passion and experience go untold. Lil Miss Leadfoot is going to bring these stories to light through interviews, days at the track, insight on the cars, racing strategies, and so much more.
Wow. Yeah, there's a whole bunch more coming this episode. We're going to barely be able to touch the surface today because there's so much going on with Lil Miss Leadfoot. Well, Melissa, welcome aboard. Thank you for joining us today. How you doing?
It's awesome. I mean, thank you for the opportunity.
You betcha. So we're going to be talking, for the viewers, we're going to be talking a lot about your history, kind of where you got where you're at and where you're going to be going, big announcements going on with sponsorships, your competition, and I got my notes, the Dodge Chief Donut Maker Contest. Yeah, viewers, we have one of the big-time contestants that was in that. We're going to be sharing all that, including what was going on with Bill Goldberg, who is an adventure in his own right. Before we jump into that, we got a couple of pictures about just kind of what's going on with Lil Miss Leadfoot. So Rick, bring up a couple of those up. I think we can talk about them. So this is, here you are on location, right? And so you're doing an interview for your show on YouTube. So tell us a little bit about the interview, who this gentleman was, and how'd it go?
Yes, so this gentleman, his name is Dennis Core, and I raced with his family and his kids when I was younger in juniors, and me and his son Kevin used to compete in juniors, and we were battling it out for track champion up at like New Media Dragway. And I thought he would be a great person to interview about, you know, what it truly means to have a lead foot and what it means to be grassroots and to do what you love and to strive to get to that point in life. And Dennis has helped my dad and I so much, whether it be on the track, in the shop, or just in life in general. And he actually helped my dad restore his 71 six-pack car, 71 Charger. It's
Nice.
a six-pack car. And he helped my dad restore that. He actually restored it right on my dad's 60th birthday. So that was
Nice.
like the best present my dad could ever ask for. And my dad had that car for over 20 years. So before I was even a thought, you know, I have a picture. It's actually a funny story. He had two cars. He had a 69 Hemi Charger and then the 71 Charger.
Yeah.
And I grew up in the backseat of my dad's 69. So I've always owned that car. And that's kind of how I grew up around cars, and I grew up around like horsepower and speed and stuff.
Yeah.
My dad loves to tell the story that like I always would say he would come out of our driveway doing a burnout, and I would be like, Dad, do another burnout, do another burnout. So that's how I grew up. But the 71, it started, he got that car, painted it red, and it was originally factory made um, in a green sort of color, and it was like interior green, but he made it red, and he wanted it to look original, go
Cool.
back to the original. So he stripped the car, took it apart, went to go to the body shop, got it painted that green, and it somehow got loose in the trailer and hit the end of the trailer
Oh
inside, and
no.
yeah, it wrecked the end of it. So he kind of just like tossed that
Oh
aside for a couple of years and
yeah.
never touched it. So after like I started racing, he was like, it's time for me to restore this car. He sold his 69 and he didn't have a toy to
Wow.
play with. You know, like his attention was on me and was on my racing,
Good.
which I'm very grateful for. But it was time for him to play around and get his toys back. So he went to Dennis, and Dennis, his company is called Course Customs, and he
Perfect.
restores iconic like Mopar muscle. So all of his
Nice.
shop, it's all Mopars, everything. So my dad found out when we met Dennis at the track racing juniors. He asked Dennis to restore his 71, and Dennis helped us out. Took a couple of
Perfect.
months, but the car looks
Perfect.
great. Yeah, the
Very
car looks
cool.
great. So, yeah, that was
Excellent.
Dennis Ford. Yep, and it was a great interview. So it
Yeah,
was really awesome to get to know him.
excellent. Just it was a great interview, a lot of fun. Everybody can be checking out on your YouTube channel as well. We've
Yeah.
got and you mentioned juniors for the people uninitiated. That's Junior Dragster, what I call the JD program, and it's an amazing process for family. All the viewers out there, if you got young children, you want to have something you can do together. Go check out the Junior Dragster program. What's kind of cool, because I've been the pleasure of announcing those competitions before, you don't need a big trailer. You can pretty much put it in the back of your pickup with the tailgate down. So I think we've got some pictures of Junior Dragster back in the day. So we got a few of those. So let's briefly touch on those, Melissa.
Yeah, so I started racing juniors when I was 10, and it's actually a funny story. So my our family friend John Pearson, his son raced junior dragsters, and when I was growing up, I would go to his to Nick's races and I'd watch, and my dad would tell me this story all the time, and my dad asked me, he was like, so do you want to like get into juniors? Do you want to race these kind of cars? And I was like, I don't know, like there's a lot of boys that do it. Like I don't see any girls. We go to another race of to watch Nick race, and there was a swarm of girls racing. So
Nice.
that ended it for me. I was like, yes, I want to do it. And as I was trying to, we would literally I bought Nick's car, his old car, because he grew out of that. So he
Yeah.
got a new one. So I refused to sit in the car. I don't know why. I just refused to sit in it, but my dad pushed me and he picked me up, plopped me in the car. And obviously don't do this now, but in the day, we did burnouts up and down the street in the little junior dragster. So that's how I got like
Nice.
acclimated to juniors.
Excellent.
So yeah, and I loved it. My first year, I had no clue what I was doing. I
Sure.
kind of just was, I was 10, so I was just racing. I kind of just learned as I went, and then at some point, a light bulb just like flicked on in my brain, and it just started flowing from there.
Excellent. What and obviously you had a great time with it. You were a great competitor and you had a lot of wins under your belt. And so now we're going to kind of shift the calendar a little bit. It's my understanding you're building a genuine super comp dragster.
Yes.
Yes, I think we got some pictures of that. So, oh, and actually, there's a shot from the junior dragsters when I affectionately referring, you're holding the big check, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Wow.
The $10,000 race. That was a memorable race that right there.
Wow. Okay, let me repeat that. $10,000. Wow.
Yep.
Very, very cool. And so there's a collection of the 10, as I affectionately refer to it. Lots of well-earned trophies. I think all that competitiveness that you learned from your junior dragster days, you're moving right into your super comp, right?
Yep. Yes. Yep.
So,
This was the peak of me ending juniors, and we were selling the car, and my dad wanted to get up a picture with all my trophies I won. So
oh yeah, absolutely. That is
hopefully I didn't peak.
very. And so now, and for the viewers, and obviously Melissa's a very talented driver. Well, you firmly believe in kind of being hands-on as well, right, bud?
Yes. Yep.
Perfect.
I love to help my dad work on the car, mainly because I feel that I need to know how my. I don't know as much as I should know. Everything that I know, I learned from my dad. He knows absolutely everything and anything. So I have been helping him build the car. He's the
Nice.
brains. He's the brains. So of the project, so he knows the ins and outs of this car.
Perfect.
Um, so I've been learning from him, and just so when we transition, obviously my dad's not going to be around all the time, and I want to learn from him. I want to
Yep.
learn from the best, and I think I'm biased. I think he's the best.
Well, there you
So
go.
that's why I'm always hands on, and I always want to learn and help because I want to know my car too. I'm not just the
Absolutely.
driver. I want to know it.
Absolutely. And there's a shot when you were getting your license. I think you did what, 160 and change?
Yeah, I did. I think it was 170 in the quarter.
Nice.
774
Woohoo.
was my time. Yeah, I referred to Nick previously, but he also races Super Comp. He allowed me to get my license passes in his car.
Nice.
This was about maybe 2 years ago, so my NHRA license is about to expire anyway. So got to get that renewed. But he was very supportive, very helpful. Wanted to teach me the ins and outs of the car so that I'm prepared for when I race my car.
Excellent. Well, we're talking about cars. This is Car Stars and Roll Bars. So we have a few pictures of the cars that are among your favorites that are in the stable. So Rick, let's see if we can pull those up. I'm digging that shot, girlfriend. That's just cool.
Yeah, that's a great. I love that picture. My grandpa told me he put me up on the hood, and he told me to pose like that. So I did.
Well,
Yeah,
you're a natural at it. So
thank you.
is that you and Dad and the Charger, right?
Yep, that's the '69 Hemi Charger. I believe that's Englishtown. I
Wow.
would always go to, yep, Englishtown. It's so sad to see it gone, but
Yeah, it is.
um, yeah, so I would always go to car shows with my dad, and I just always grew up around it, and I kind of just like it became my life.
Beautiful.
It's something that my
Beautiful.
dad and I really bonded over,
Very cool.
uh, especially when I was young. So, and then it just moved into racing.
Absolutely. And now there's a nice pair of hot rods sitting there together.
Yep. So the one on the left is the '69, and the
Yep.
one on the right is the '71, and that was when it was red.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah.
I think we got one more shot of. I love this shot. You talk about serious business. Nothing like a Hemi Charger. I'm
Oh
old
no,
school. Yeah.
that was my dad's dream car. That was
Yeah.
his dream car. Yep.
Oh, absolutely. What? Okay, for the viewers, a lot of people followed what was going on with the Dodge cheap donut maker contest. Before we go there, we're going to kind of cue all this up. So to date, because I got a couple standard questions we love to ask our featured guests, and this one's going to be kind of hard for you, bud. I'm apologize in advance. To date, what is your favorite automotive memory?
Favorite automotive.
Man, I know you got a whole Rolodex full already, I think.
Yeah, um, that's a hard question.
I'm sorry.
I would say, yeah, that's really hard. I have a couple in my head, but I
Cool.
would have to say my favorite memory would have to be winning the $10,000 race in
Perfect.
juniors.
Perfect.
Yeah, I would say that is my
Yeah.
favorite because the day just went perfectly.
Nice.
It was just like a perfect day, and like
Hmm.
it was just it was like a fever dream. Like it was like right out of a movie that day.
Nice.
Um,
Everything
I can
clicked, right?
it was
Yeah.
like very much in my favor that day, and like luck was on, like I don't want to say luck did all of it, but luck was definitely on my side. Even from the beginning of the day when we got to the gates at Island Dragway, they were handing out like welcome
Hmm.
packages because it was a pretty big race. There was a lot of cars there, a lot of
Sure.
juniors, and they were handing out like bags, like little welcome bags. So I get out of the truck, and there's a line outside the gate. Get out of the truck, walk to get my bag, and one of the workers there at the track was like, "Oh, look at this girl. She looks like she's about to win today," which was like,
Wow.
yeah, that was crazy because I didn't think anything of it. I was
Crazy.
like, "Oh yeah, like totally," like kind of just brushed it off. And so I got
Yeah.
my bag. We started racing, and I was dead on.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Usually I get nervous in big races, and that usually like messes me up mentally, and I usually psych myself out. But this day I was so relaxed. My family came to watch me. My home friends came to watch me. So I was having fun with my track friends. So I was so laid back, carefree, was not nervous at all, which is so unusual for me.
Very
And
good.
I was going rounds, and it got to the point where I was in the semifinals, and I was the only girl. It was three other boys, and all the boys wanted to split the money.
Got it.
So it would like, so semifinalists would get like 1,000, like another 500, and then runner up would get 1,500, something like that. So I think that's how we broke it up. And then the winner would get like 7,000 or something. So I didn't want to split. I was like, this is a 10K race, you know, like
Yeah,
this
let's
is,
just go for it, right? Yeah.
we're racing for $10,000. I want to win $10,000. But it got to a point, it was like 3 against 1, and I was like, you know what, let's just split. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm the one that won. I'm the one that didn't want to split, but we split. So it just like worked out. And then
Perfect.
at some
Perfect.
point, I forgot which round it was, but my chain guard broke on my junior.
Wow.
And you can't race without a chain guard
Right.
because that's safety reasons.
Yep.
So my dad literally took racer tape and just taped it on, and it stayed.
And it
So like
stayed.
they just like worked out perfectly. So I would say that's my favorite memory.
And that's a great memory. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, real quick before we get to Donut Maker, and I might know the answer to this one. What's your favorite car?
Favorite car.
Yeah.
So I would say 69 Hemi Charger because I did grow up in there.
That's
Grew
what I'm
up in the
kind of
back
thinking.
But I do have to say, I love 1970 Superbirds. They are very nice. Like, I just love the way they look. Also, growing up, I love Cars. The movie Cars.
Oh, yes.
I love that movie.
Yes.
I have little Hot Wheels of each Cars character when I was younger. So Strip in the first movie that was sponsored by Dynaco, the blue 1970 Superbird.
Yep.
Always loved him. So whenever I went to car shows and I saw, a baby blue Superbird, they would put the eyes,
Yes.
in the windshield, and I always thought it was Strip from Cars. So I loved it. So
Oh, I
I would
love
have to say my personal favorite would be the 1970 Superbird.
And so for the viewers, just in case you haven't caught other episodes, this is totally unscripted, unprompted. In our garage, we have a 70 Superbird 426 Hemi 4-speed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would love to get into
Yeah.
the driver's seat of that.
Well, you come to Vegas, we're going to hook you up. We call her our 2.0. We've got Hotchkiss suspension. We've got the console bucket seats, Tour Red, everything. We're on an MSD. We got a comp cam, little roller lifters. The list goes on. Ram dual clutch.
Wow.
Sorry, viewers, we're talking about Superbirds now. Okay, how about we'll get back on track? Pardon the pun. Okay, all the viewers, catch your breath because Melissa's going to give us a little bit of insight to different clips of this. We're going to be talking about this Dodge Chief Donut Maker Contest. I think we got a couple of pics of this, Rick. So this started last year, and were hiring someone they're going to call their Chief Donut Maker. And I'll step through these pictures fairly quickly. And this was broadcast over. There's Bill Goldberg, an amazing force in his own right. We've had the pleasure of knowing Bill for many, many years. And you see this last picture coming up. This is not a typo. $150,000 was going to be part of this package. Now, before we bring Melissa back, and you're going to, Rick, pull me up just real quick by myself for a moment to give you an idea how big this is. I had a chance to talk with Goldberg and everybody at SEMA last year. They had over 170,000 entries. That's not a typo. Over 170,000 of them. So let's see. I think we have a little bit of the clip of Melissa's application.
Hi, my name is Melissa Wilson, and this is why I would be the best Chief Donut Maker. My story begins with my first steps on Englishtown's famed quarter-mile track. I grew up in the backseat of my father's 69 Hemi Charger, where we traveled to car shows all over the Northeast. I'm third generation Mopar, born and bred, nothing but Dodge in our garage. I learned early on about horsepower and the phrase drive it like you stole it. By age 11, I took my first trip down Island Dragway's famed drag strip in my first junior dragster. This is where I discovered my passion for fast cars and my talent for racing. The horsepower, the adrenaline, and the thrill of competing struck me early and has never left. I even earned the nickname Lil Miss Leadfoot because I never left. 7 years, 40 victories, and 2 track champs later, I qualified for my NHRA Super Comp license, running a 776 at 170 miles per hour. In my world, horsepower is a lifestyle, and my life, from the beginning, has been powered by Dodge.
Wow. Well, let's see if we can get Melissa on screen with us. I got to tell you, girlfriend, as soon as I saw your application, I went, oh my goodness, that to me just checked so many boxes. Again, there was over 170,000 applications. We're not going to give viewers any hints what's coming up, so bear with me for a moment. So what possessed you to say, well, I'm going to go ahead and apply? You just said, well, let's just do it?
Yes. So this is actually a funny story. My dad knew about this contest in like November of 2021.
Right.
Because Tim Kaniskis, the CEO, he kind of launched it as like a teaser, but they weren't going to launch the competition or the applications until 2022, the beginning of 2022.
Right.
So my dad was like, Melissa, like your dream is to get into the pros, make connections. Like all you want to do is race. This is the way to do it. You take like opportunity as it comes. And this was an opportunity, you know, and like what could have happened? Like I apply and I don't get in. Okay. Like next opportunity. Right.
Perfect.
So he was like, what are you going to lose here? You're not going to lose anything. So why don't let's look into it and let's do it. So the details of the competition came out January 2022. And I was right on my computer right when they came out, looking at the rules, looking what was like needed. And so I put in my application. You needed like your name, age, stuff like that. And then you had to make a max 2-minute video and post it on like a public platform with the hashtag Chief Donut Maker. So I did that. And it was like, I didn't know what to think, what would happen. I kind of just like did it and just to see what would happen.
To see
like,
what would happen. Okay.
Yeah, just to like see what would happen, see if I would actually like get into top 10. And I got into top 10. Like it's just like it was like a weird thing, you know. I kind of just did it. I was very relaxed doing it. I was like, what am I going to lose? Like
perfect.
Whatever happens.
Okay.
And
so here we go. So you're kind of giving the viewers a hint. So now you're doing good. So yeah, we're 170,000 applicants. That's the population of some towns in the United States. And so say, okay, we're going to find the top 10. So you put that in your calculator. So it's like 0.000 all to the right of the decimal point of how many people are going to be part of the top 10. I think we have an interview that our viewers will be fascinated with.
First, Chief Donut Maker is... Whoa, hit the brakes. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
In January, Dodge launched a nationwide search for their first ever Chief Donut Maker. We received over 170,000 applications from all over the country. We were blown away by everyone's creativity and passion. But now we've chosen our top 10 finalists and we're putting them to the test right here at Radford Racing School in Arizona.
For you.
I have the passion, I have the drive. I learned that I only have one life. Might as well take every opportunity and really strive for my passion. And my passion is to make it in racing and is to be the face of Dodge.
Wow. So girlfriend, so we went from 170,000 to 10, and you're one of the 10. Congratulations. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so I think we got a pic of you and Bill together for the interview process. So what was that like being interviewed by Goldberg?
Okay. I think it was the competition and like knowing that I am competing for $150,000, a Hellcat, and being hired by Dodge to be their brand ambassador, what got my nerves going. Goldberg, I wasn't intimidated by him.
Cool.
I thought he was just a big teddy bear. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't intimidated, you know? It was more of like, this is a competition and I'm nervous about what kind of questions he's going to ask me, what kind of answers can I provide him, stuff like that. But Goldberg himself didn't intimidate me.
Yeah. Good for you.
You know?
And for the viewers, one of the questions Bill would ask, well, you get the Hellcat, who's the first person to drive? And I think your response, well, your dad, right? Which was massively cool. Okay, viewers, we're not quite done yet. We have another clip from the Chief Donut Maker competition by Dodge. Hey, Rick, hit that video. Watch this, viewers.
And I want to know why they think they can represent this brand. Waiting for an invitation?
You got 10. Do you have your top 5?
I think I do. It was tough. Good luck. Be only one Chief Donut Maker. If I call your name, please step forward. If I have called your name, you have run out of gas.
We thank you so much for all of your efforts and your time and your dedication, and we wish you the best as you continue your journey down the road.
Thank you for being a part of this unnerving process. Tomorrow, it's a different story. It's gonna be tough. Make sure you get your rest tonight and come back prepared to be the Chief Donut Maker.
So yeah, we are talking to top 5. So now we went from 170,000 to 10 to 5. So Melissa, I gotta ask, when they queued that up and they asked those 5 competitors of the 10 to step forward, I'm sure that was a little disconcerting because commonly if you're asked to step forward, that means you're part of the top 5, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I don't really know what was going through my brain when that was happening. That whole experience was like a fever dream. And so when they called the top 5 and the people to step forward, I had this like feeling in my gut that I was like, no, like I'm staying. Like I'm meant to be top 5 and I know that I'm good. So I had a feeling that I was good and I was surviving one more day. But yeah, it was definitely also a great feeling to be in top 5.
Great, and that's a great shot as well. Okay, viewers, so feel free to reach out and get like an autograph. She's got hero cards coming out, so you can actually get a hook up with a top 5 finalist for the Chief Donut Maker. Before we go any further, like I told you, she has a lot of stuff going on. I think we have a great video of announcing an incredible sponsor for your race program. Hey, Rick, find that play button, buddy.
It's official. Lil Miss Leadfoot is excited and honored to be working with Mopar Collector's Guide and Mopar TV. The Mopar community is a dedicated group of individuals made up of grassroots racers and car enthusiasts who live the lifestyle of Mopar or no car. Mopar Collector's Guide is an international magazine that has been published for 35 years. It is the #1 source for everything Mopar, from parts to stories of vehicles and enthusiasts. While Mopar TV is a YouTube channel that captures the love of Mopar. Lil Miss Leadfoot has made the cover of this month's Mopar Collector's Guide and was given the opportunity to share what this brand truly means. MCG will have a front row seat on our journey to uncovering the true meaning of having a Leadfoot. This edition is available now, so make sure you head over to MCG's website to get more information on subscriptions and more updates on Lil Miss Leadfoot covers and articles. As someone who has grown up around Mopars and the Mopar community, it is my honor to represent Mopar Collector's Guide and Mopar TV on the track this season. Trust me, you don't want to miss out.
Wow, congratulations. We've had a pleasure knowing Robert Wolf and the gang forever. And check this out, viewers. Look what I just happened to have with me today is the cover, Mopar Collector's Guide, and there's our featured guest. So, yeah, and so there's a shot. I think then there's a picture. You actually have a nice 2-page article about your racing program, how you met Robert Wolf and everybody at Mopar Collector's Guide. So that's just got, there you go. Dodges, losses, Mopar Collector's Guide gain, right? So how's that? I'm sure you just can't thank Robert Wolf and everybody at MCG enough for coming on board with you.
Oh yeah, it was, like I said, like all these opportunities that I've gotten and like went for just like worked out in a weird way. You know, it just like it was meant to happen. And when I had my dad has always read Mopar Collector's Guide, even when it was in a newspaper. He always had that magazine, and he has had the subscription since it started. And when he got one of the month's editions, Rob wrote an article about me and about his pick, who he thought should be Dodge's chief donut maker. And Dodge didn't even pick their top 10 when wrote this article about me. That was even cooler because he saw my video. Dodge didn't even pick their top 10 yet, and he already picked me to be, the one, which was really cool. So I read the article about me, and he said nothing but good things.
Cool.
And it was really cool to be, in a magazine. I'm, at this point, I'm a nobody. I'm 21. I'm 20 years old, in college, and just trying to go after my dreams. And the fact that someone with this insane magazine wrote about me, it's really cool. So that was really cool to be recognized. And then when the episode came out that I made it to only top 5. He wrote another article about me, and that was really cool because he still recognized that, I was his favorite to win, and that was really cool. So my dad, literally being my number one supporter all throughout my life, got Rob's contact information and talked to him and said, hey, Melissa, really her dream is to get into the pros and basically race for the rest of her life. Like, that's all I want. And he was like, maybe we can discuss something about sponsorship. And Rob was all for it. So we set up a meeting July of last year at Chrysler's at Carlisle.
At Carlisle, yep.
And we sat in the stands and we talked about what I should do. He basically has been a mentor for me. Beautiful. And that's basically how Lil Miss Leadfoot was birthed, was literally in Carlisle at the stands talking to Rob, because he was giving me so much advice. And he was like, racing is a business and you need to brand yourself and market yourself. And this is how you're going to get noticed. And I was like, you're so right. I know nothing about this. And he said, don't worry, I will help you the whole way through. So
excellent.
Really, I'm very grateful for Rob because I wouldn't have thought to start my own brand, Lil Miss Leadfoot. I wouldn't have thought that. And without Rob's help and him planting the seed, I wouldn't.
And you're there. And right on target. And I think we've got some contact information so the viewers can learn more about what you're doing. Can you step us through that real quickly? So obviously there's your website, littlemissleadfoot.com, and your Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, right, buddy?
Yes. Yep.
Perfect.
And all my YouTube videos are linked on my website too, so you can go there to access YouTube videos. And I'm kind of just like getting in the groove of doing video and editing and stuff. I'm learning a lot, big learning curve, definitely. But I'm working really hard. So I hope everyone can enjoy the content I put out there.
I'm pretty sure they will. Do me a favor, stay on the line after we say goodbye to everybody, because I always like to chat to my guests. The viewers know that. Melissa, it has been our honor to have you on the show. I got to get me my Lil Miss Leadfoot decal for probably that rear driver's window of the bird, and let me know when you're coming into town, and I'll have the driver's seat reserved for you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me on. This was so much fun.
And again, to stay on the line, And then I'll be saying goodbye to everybody else for our viewers today. Viewers, thank you so much. Yeah, you got to check out what Melissa Wilson's doing, Lil Miss Leadfoot. She is the real deal. And for the viewers, the young viewers, she says, you know, I didn't know what was going to happen with that Chief Donut Maker competition, the contest. I'm going to submit my video anyway. So kind of put that for your view of life. You're going to do it just because. Do me a favor, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Hit us up on YouTube and all the social media. And so until next time, enjoy the ride.